guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, it's Saturday, January 19th, and it's 7:49 p.m. and what we're going to be doing this evening is getting into some Q-related news. There's lots of it, and Q has not posted today. I have been keeping an eye out, well, not literally because that would be painful, but I have been keeping a lookout for Q, and nothing today. I thought for sure that he would post today, but I've been wrong before and I'll probably be wrong again. So let's get into the news. And I also wanted to say, I think I have the perfect setup in terms of my camera and lighting and so forth. So let me know what you guys think, if this is better, worse, the same, or I don't care, or we don't really want to see your face. I think most people do. I think, I know that for me, when I'm looking at YouTube, I like to be able to see who is speaking. It just kind of helps complete that communication circle. So anyway, now, as you know, today, President Trump made a speech about the border security. And I think it's interesting because I think a lot of people were thinking he was going to call a state of the emergency and just build the wall. And, I must admit that that's kind of what I was hoping, I was hoping, but that's not what happened. But in retrospect, I look at it as a step forward. Why? Because I think that he has done everything within his power to bring them to the bargaining table. Absolutely everything. While they've been off in Puerto Rico on the beach and vacationing, and Pelosi again was kind of grounded yesterday after she was going to be going on this trip, to Brussels and Afghanistan and Egypt. She was going to be going on this trip, which would have made negotiation impossible. But she's already stated that she's not up for negotiating. She's not willing to negotiate whatsoever. She's not I think she said she was willing to give $1 towards the wall, but then when somebody tried to collect that dollar, she wouldn't cough up. So who knows what Pelosi is thinking, or if she's thinking anything at all. But at this point, I think that the world can see that the Democrats are being absolutely, positively ridiculous, because Donald Trump has tried to compromise on absolutely everything that could be compromised, and it's still not enough to bring them to the bargaining table. So I think that if he does move forward and say, okay, this is a state of emergency and the wall is going to be built, I have no doubt at all that the wall is going to be built. Q has told us that, and said that it would be the military that builds it, the Army Corps of Engineers. So I do believe that. I have no doubt. And all of these steps and these moves and these counter moves, to me, are just a master game of chess. He's making them look as ridiculous as possible so that when the day comes that he says, you know what, we can't do anything else except move forward with this as a national security crisis and build the border using the money that we already have in the budget for the military, because this budget that they are arguing about is less than 10% of 1%. So, I mean, we're talking a minuscule amount in terms of the government, a very minuscule amount. Maybe not a minuscule amount is in terms of you or I, if we were trying to fund it, but to them, it's nothing. That's nothing. They lose that much in a year, just by bad accounting errors. So, well, if that's indeed what it is. So I do think that it accomplished a lot today, and I don't think that we should be down in the mouth about it and thinking, oh, why is he being such, why doesn't he, I've heard people say this on Twitter and so forth, why doesn't he grow a pair and just put his foot down or whatever? Well, that's not going to work. You know that. He's got to make it seem as if the only way out is to declare an emergency, because I do believe that most of American citizens want a border. Most of them, even including the Democrats. Even the Democrats are saying, look, you know what? Just give them the money for the border. You've got people that are ardent supporters of the Democratic Party coming out now and saying, you know what? Just give them the money. Like, and move on. Move on. Let's get all these 800,000 people back to work, get their paychecks flowing again. Just give him what he wants. But they're not going to do that. And the more that they protest, the more it puts them in the spotlight. Doesn't put Trump in a bad light, puts them in a bad light. So that is what's going on. So anyway, and we knew this from yesterday, that he was going to be making this announcement concerning the humanitarian crisis on our southern border and the shutdown. Nothing has been solved. And, Pelosi, before he even made his speech, said no deal. So that shows that she has no intention of coming to the table and actually negotiating like a grown-up. She's not going to do that. She's having the temper tantrum of a 2-year-old, where Trump is actually being reasonable, coming forth and saying, look, you know what? I can compromise on this, and this. But still, it's no deal as far as Pelosi goes and the other Democrats. So there you go. And then we have this weird thing that happened. Donna Brazile, and I do believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, it might actually be Sheila, someone that wears the pedophile ring. I'm not sure, but maybe it's not Donna Brazile. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this came from her Twitter account, and hashtag Madam Speaker today, hashtag President Pelosi shortly thereafter. Hashtag MLK weekend is underway, and indeed it is. This is Martin Luther King weekend, and Monday is a holiday. She says, keep hope alive. So why, it concerns me that, number one, there was a terrorist attack that was thwarted on the White House. And that was, at the same time, you've got Pelosi and 93, I think it was 93 other people assisting her on this trip that was a non-essential trip. But the strange thing is that it included all of her children and all of her grandchildren on the taxpayers' dime, of course. Now that didn't happen thanks to Trump, but why was she trying to get out of town, and why was she taking everybody that's related to her? Why? What was the deal? Now, was something supposed to go down? And as the designated survivor, which she is, because if anything happened to President Trump or Vice President Pence, she would be our president. I know, it's almost, makes me nauseous to think about, to tell you the truth, but she is the designated survivor. So there was the terrorist attack that was thwarted, which nobody is talking about. Why not? That should be on every news. It should be on every international news station. It should be everywhere. It should be at every newspaper you look at. It should be every time you look at something on the internet. It should be everywhere. But it is nowhere. Why is that? There was an attempt on our president's life, and Pelosi was going to be away during that period of time, and she took all of her relatives, all of her children, all of her grandchildren. Why? I'm just asking. Then we have Donna Brazile saying President Pelosi shortly thereafter. So today she's Madam Speaker. Tomorrow, perhaps, she'll be Madam President. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, then we have Donna Brazile again. And we know how the deep state like to communicate to one another through these little idioms and little strange things, just like James Comey dog dying, that he didn't have a dog. So it was quite a feat for a dog that he didn't have to die. But anyway, it did. And that was the way he telegraphed that George Herbert Walker Bush had died. Well, here we now have Donna Brazile saying, R.I.P. Boo. The world's cutest dog has died. BuzzFeed News, well, we know how reliable they are. Not. Anyway, the world's cutest dog has died, and Donna Brazile took the time out to tweet about it. Not sure why. And here is Sean saying, seems a little odd to give an obituary to a dog in the middle of the freaking night. Yes, Sean, I would agree with you. It does seem a little odd to give an obituary to a dog which you don't own in the middle of the freaking night. I do agree. Yes, so whatever that's about, don't know. But I have a guess that at some point we're going to know all of these little things are going to make sense someday, and we're going to look back and we're going to think, we thought that was odd at the time. We didn't exactly know how to put our finger on it, but we knew they were trying to telegraph something. So there you go. The world's cutest dog has died. Isn't that heart-wrenching, isn't it? And interestingly enough, today is National Popcorn Day. So I hope that you have popped some. I do not have any popcorn in my home, and I have been ill. I have pancreatitis, apparently. And no, I don't drink. And no, I don't have a gallbladder. So I don't know what's going on yet until I hear back from the doctor on Monday. But I am not leaving the house to get popcorn, and it is cold, very cold here. We are in a extremely cold snap, and it's snowing, so the chances of me going out are slim to none. But hopefully you are enjoying some popcorn. Hopefully you popped up some, and I like mine with butter and salt, of course, all the things that are bad for you. All right, well, not if you use pink salt. Himalayan salt, look it up. It's so much better for you than white salt. It really is. It's all I use. All right, you didn't come here to hear about salt, I'm pretty sure. All right, and then we have this by Bill Mitchell. 100,000 supporters turned out for the annual March for Life, USA Today reports. More than 1,000 CNN and MSNBC completely ignore. I was trying to grab the kitten and pick her up and show her to you. I keep calling her because I've had 2 female cats for 21 years. But this is a he. And I have noticed some differences in raising 2 female cats as opposed to a male cat. There's differences. There really are. And not good differences or bad differences, just differences. He's playing with my the little lid to my water bottle here. And if he gets close enough, I will grab him and bring him on camera for you because he is awfully cute. He's destructive, but he's cute, and he is getting much better. Okay, so Bill Mitchell is asking, there's all these supporters that turn out for the annual March for Life. Nobody says anything about that. Mainstream media completely ignored it. All right. Now, I love this. I really, really love it. Don't know who came up with this, but they're pretty gosh darn clever. On December 17th, 1903, the Wright brothers flew 852 feet. That's 852 feet further than Nancy Pelosi flew on January 17th, 2019. Now, that's funny. I don't care who you are. It is. So anyway, yes, the Wright brothers flew much further. And I hear some chewing. There you go. You stay where I can see you, so I know that all my cords are okay. Everything's still on? Yes. All right, let's go on. Randy Quaid. Love that guy. He is hysterical and very talented. Randy Quaid. Put their faces on milk cartons so we can all stare at them with seething indignation over our cereal. Take away their Pulitzer and give them a Mullitzer. Yes, I'm with Randy Quaid. Absolutely. A wonderful idea. Except I don't think that I want their faces on milk cartons because I don't think that I would be able to eat my breakfast if I was staring at their faces on my milk carton. I'm just saying because it does make me throw up a little in my mouth. And, why do that? I mean, no. And really, children should not be subjected to that either at the breakfast table. Should never subject children to that. All right. Now, here's this guy, Michael Cohen. And interestingly enough, this is the main witness against President Trump. And he shows up with a black eye and a broken arm. Well, we know what black eyes mean, don't we? And according to Lionel, so this is your main witness against President Trump? This guy? When will you just give up and admit that you've been beat? Yeah, exactly. When this is your main witness, it's kind of like that Michael Avenatti guy. I mean, if that's your witness, I mean, just give up and go home. Really. Or Stormy Daniels? Come on. You can't come up with better than Stormy Daniels? It's amazing, isn't it? Anyway, Michael Cohen arrives home with apparent black eye and arm in sling. Longtime Trump lawyer Michael Cohen returns to his Manhattan apartment after suffering some kind of physical injury. Well, wonder if he was partaking in, the black eye ritual thing that they do. Don't know. Don't really care, actually. Okay. And Paul Sperry. Recall that it was BuzzFeed's Leopold and Cormier who also reported back in November that Trump offered to give Putin a $50 million penthouse in Trump Tower, Moscow, citing the same two U.S. law enforcement officials as sources. This claim appeared nowhere in Mueller filings either. Yeah, well, BuzzFeed. They make stuff up, man. Just like CNN. Kind of like that. Only different, because it's BuzzFeed. Yeah. Well, we know how accurate they were in their report, and of course, everybody was, singing the chorus of impeach, impeach, impeach. But Nancy Pelosi can't impeach because she's impaired. I don't know if you can impeach if you're impaired. All the alcohol she's been consuming that we taxpayers have been paying for. Yeah, I think she's pretty sloshed flying around up there. You ever had a glass of wine on a flight? Well, I don't generally drink, but I did get upgraded to first class once. I usually fly economy, of course, like most people. And but I did get upgraded to first class, and I had a glass of wine, and one glass of wine, and because of the altitude and everything, I was like, woo! And I was like, okay, one is way, way, way more than enough when you're in the air. But apparently not if you're Nancy Pelosi, because she drinks like a fish. A fish. Actually, I don't know if fish actually do drink. Well, they must, somehow. Stop. I'm telling you. And now I hear growling. Wonderful. I've got a rabid animal behind my chair here. I hear kittens. I hear a kitten and I hear an older cat growling. That's what I hear. So I don't know what kind of action you're about to witness here, but it might not be good action. All right. So anyway, yeah, BuzzFeed. And then we have this by the White House. At Real Donald Trump, the beauty and majesty of citizenship is that it draws no distinctions of race or class or faith or gender or background, no matter where our story begins, whether we are first generation or 10th generation, we are all equal. Now, that is beautiful. It's beautiful sentiment, and I could not agree more. If you are legally in the U.S. and you are paying your taxes and working towards making the United States the best it can possibly be, then you are American and we are all equal. That's how I look at it. I consider myself American. I am legal. I do have a legal green card, but I have overstayed my welcome outside of the U.S. And so I'm hoping to get that rectified soon, very soon, because I do consider myself American. I do want to pursue American citizenship, and I love America. So there you go. All right, and then back to Bill Mitchell. You know what amazes me the most about President Trump? No, Bill Mitchell. What amazes you the most about President Trump? Tell us. He's under assault 24/7, and yet he remains so damn calm. It's almost like he already knows how this movie ends. Well, I couldn't agree more with Bill Mitchell. I don't know if I could. I know. Actually, I'm not even going to say I don't know. I know I could not stand up under the pressure and the scrutiny that Donald Trump stands up to every single day from the news media and everyone else. It's unbelievable. I've never seen one human being so maligned in my entire human existence, really. And yet he continues on as it just unabated. He just lets it roll off his back and continues on doing his job. It's amazing. And the interesting thing is that he keeps doing a good job even for those Americans that hate him, that can't stand him, that would like to see him dead. He still goes about doing what's in everyone's best interest. And I appreciate and admire that. So let's come down to here, and this from Ben Kennedy. Trump's plan, 5.7 billion for the wall, millions in humanitarian aid and drug detection technology, 2,750 new border agents, 75 new immigration judges, 3-year relief for DACA recipients, 3-year extension for TPS. This is a common sense compromise both parties should embrace. Yes. They should. There's absolutely no reason for them not to, other than the fact that they are having infant-like machinations, and they're just having these little like toddler tantrums. Basically, Nancy Pelosi has said not going to give any money towards the wall, and she's not going to negotiate. So, I predict that because just from knowing everything that Q has said and knowing the president these 2 years and how he has done things, I do believe that the military will end up building the wall, as Q has said, and I think that he is just taking those steps forward and making sure that every dot is, every T is crossed and every I is dotted, and that nobody can come back on him and saying, you didn't even try. You didn't even try to negotiate. You just went forward with like a bull moose with your own plan. Well, nobody will be able to say that at all, because what he brought to us today was a deep, deep compromise. In fact, I think he compromised far too much, but that's me. And, so nobody's going to be able to say, oh, he just wanted his own way and he's just going in there like a bull moose. No, you can't say that. Can't. Not, well, you can say it. Won't be true. Anyway, and then here's Lindsey Graham, who was a little bit critical of President Trump taking Pelosi's wings away from her. He should definitely take her booze away from her. I don't see any reason why, if she is on the clock and working, why she should be drinking and flying on taxpayers' money. Of course, I know that, they have to maintain a home in their home state, and they have to maintain a home in Washington, and their offices in Washington. So there is some flying back and forth, and yes, that should be paid for. Absolutely, it should be. But $1,000 in booze a week? No, I don't think so. Who can even drink $1,000 worth of booze in a week? Seriously. Come on, man. Do you want your taxpayers' dollars going for that? There's people that are barely able to make it. They have to decide, should I heat my home or should I eat? Should I pay my rent or should I make my car payment? If I don't make my car payment, then I won't be able to get around, won't be able to get to my job. But if I don't make my rent, I won't have a place to live, and I'll have to live in my car. There are Americans making that decision every day. But she's, up there flying high on $1,000 worth of booze a week. Something grossly wrong with that. Anyway, Lindsey Graham, a fantastic proposal, Mr. President. Let's get it done. And I could not agree more. It was a fantastic proposal. There's no reason why it shouldn't be accepted, but you and I know it won't be. And here's Lisa Mae Crowley. To those crying about amnesty being a part of the deal, that's not what he said. He offered a 3-year extension on DACA/TPS while they work on immigration reform. He knows what he's doing. He had to make this public offer knowing they'd say no before declaring a national emergency. I could not agree any more with Lisa Mae Crowley. I think that's well stated, and that's exactly what I believe. And here is Vice President Pence. Today, POTUS proposed a common sense plan to secure our border, reopen our government, and keep Americans safe. Now it's time for Congress to work together to solve the crisis on our southern border and end the shutdown. Let's get to work. Well, we know how this is going to end. We already know how this is going to end. But they're making sure that when it does end, that the Democrats are going to come out looking as bad as possible. And they do. They really, really do. All right, and then there's this. I thought this was cute. John B. Wells. Breaking news. The FDA just approved a new drug for people who are easily offended or can't take a joke. It's called Growacet. Yes, Growacet. Testicular fortitude capsules. Yeah, I can think of a few people that need those. I'm just saying. Each capsule contains testicular fortitude, equivalent to 1 testicle. So I guess you would have to take 2 if you want to grow a set. You have to take 2 capsules, not just 1. 1 testicle. You can't get as much done with 1 testicle. Not that I know, but I'm just saying. I would assume. I've never been a man, but then I don't want to be, really. I quite enjoy being a woman, but, if you need a set, you should grow a set and take 2, not just 1. All right, let's move on, because we can. And here is Snake Plissken, one of my favorite people on YouTube. Not YouTube, Twitter. I don't know why I get Twitter and YouTube confused. They're not anything at all alike. Masterfully played by President Trump. MAGA victory. 45 knew before his speech was even written that Dems would reject his proposal. He is playing by baseball rules. 3 strikes, and then you're out. Yeah. So, I don't know why. I get a kick out of him. And I thought I had a link to Pelosi's denial. Here it is. I missed it. Skipped right over it. Pelosi's statement on Trump's speech. Now, granted, this came out before his speech, so this was given before the president even spoke. Speaker Nancy Pelosi issued this statement in advance of the president's address. Democrats were hopeful that the president was finally willing to reopen government and proceed with a much-needed discussion to protect the border. Unfortunately, initial reports make clear that his proposal is a compilation of several previously rejected initiatives, each of which is unacceptable and in total do not represent a good faith effort to restore certainty to people's lives. It is unlikely that any of these provisions alone would pass the House, and taken together, they are a non-starter. For one thing, this proposal does not include the permanent solution for the Dreamers and TPS recipients that our country needs and supports. But I guess, President Trump saying that there was like a 3-year that they would have be working on ways to move them forward towards citizenship. I guess that wasn't enough, and it was a non-starter. But I'm a little bit perplexed here. Help me out, people, because it says that his proposal is a compilation of several previously rejected initiatives. Well, how does she know? She hadn't even heard the speech yet. How does she know? How does she come up with an answer like this before the man's even spoke? Yeah. And it's interesting that she didn't appear in person. Why didn't she appear on camera to refute this? Well, we know, because she's a bumbling mess whenever she's on camera. She doesn't know what she's talking about, and then we got the spastic hands, and, and then she doesn't remember who our president is. She calls him President Bush. So we know why she didn't appear on camera, but my gosh, she's shooting this down and she doesn't even know what he's going to talk about yet. She's an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said that with my outside voice, didn't I? I'm sorry. Okay, so Democrats support smart, effective border security solutions. Sure they do. Like, what did she say? Electronic dogs? It was something absolutely... Technological dogs, that's it. Technological dogs. That's what she wants at our borders. Because it's so much cheaper than a wall. Oh, she is a hot mess. That's what she is. Increased infrastructure investments at our ports of entry, including additional ports and roads. Oh, yes, make it easier. Yeah, let's put in more roads for them. No walls, more roads. Advanced technology to scan for drugs, weapons, and contraband, which we wouldn't need if we had a wall. Where the vast majority of drugs come in our country, and advanced technology to detect unauthorized crossings. Oh, like a wall couldn't do that, could it? No. No, we need advanced technology to scan for drugs because a wall is just far too easy. More customs personnel. Well, there we go. That's cheaper than a wall, isn't it? Yeah. Let's just keep hiring more people and more people and more people and paying them out of tax dollars while the immigrants walk over on all the new roads we're going to build for them. They'll just walk over and we'll be paying for that too. Oh, sure, Nancy. That's such a good idea. Oh, you're so smart. No, you're not. Yeah, we know. We know that you're probably being, what do you call that? Coached. You're probably being coached by a bag of hammers. Anyway. Okay, so more customs personnel, including filling the more than 3,000 customs and border patrol vacancies, and more immigration judges, because that will solve it. Yeah, we'll just add more judges. Right. We don't want to reduce the immigration. We don't want to stop the flow. Of course not, because then we wouldn't have the trafficked women and children. We wouldn't have, they wouldn't have the drug flow and the other things that come across the border. That's what they're against. They want that. They want those channels open. Yeah. So this is Nancy Pelosi. And somewhere she said something about her technological dogs or something like that. It was absolutely retarded. Okay. I know. You're saying, why don't you just tell us how you really feel? Anyway, next week, Democrats will pass a package of 6 bills agreed to by House and Senate negotiators and other legislation to reopen government so that we can fully negotiate on border security proposals. But wait a minute, Nancy. Wait a minute. Didn't you already say you weren't going to negotiate? So really keeping the border closed is the only ace in the hole here. So if we open the border, you'll have no reason to negotiate whatsoever. And you've already said you have no intention to negotiate. So which is it, Nancy? Make up your mind. The president must sign these bills. Oh, well, isn't she the big bad one? The president must sign these bills to reopen government immediately and to stop holding the American people hostage with this senseless shutdown. Each day he prolongs this needless crisis. Coast Guardsmen, FBI agents, Border Patrol officers, TSA agents, and hundreds of thousands more workers are forced to live without knowing how they can feed their families and pay the bills. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Feed the families, man. We're all gonna die if he builds that wall. The president has taken pride in shutting down government. Now he must take action to open up government. So there you go. Nancy has spoken. Yeah. Isn't it like a little embarrassing? Seriously. Like, I know, okay, I'm up here in Canada right now, but I consider myself American. And, I originally was born in Canada, and I find it a little embarrassing because I love America and I love Americans, and I find it just a little embarrassing that Nancy Pelosi is even in office to begin with. I'm just a little embarrassed about it. I'm just saying. Between you and me, I'm embarrassed. Well, I'm embarrassed about Justin Trudeau too. Don't get me wrong. I'm really embarrassed about that. But, Ocasio-Cortez, occasional cortex, these people, it shouldn't be so, man. Okay. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I wish that Q would post. I really do. I really wish Q would post because I think we need it. I think we need that little shot in the arm. It's kind of like a little boost and it gets us all united again because I'm telling you, the trolls are ramping up. I'm getting so many people saying, oh, just, I don't want you to be embarrassed, but I felt like I needed to tell you that Q is fake. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah. Those people get deleted immediately. So anyway, that's it for this evening. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're enjoying National Popcorn Day. I would ask that if you are enjoying some popcorn, that you enjoy some for me as well. And put a little bit of butter and Himalayan salt on it. It's good that way, really. All right. So I will talk to you guys later. Hope you're doing well. Sleep well. Stay safe. And I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.